Let's have a look at the results from the end of 2021 to the beginning of 2022. Low supply and inventory in Toronto real estate is really not a secret. If we just take a look at the news online or social media, it is just all over the headlines. The same reason I believe is why I'm receiving a lot of buyers inquiring about the market, and some of them are ready to start searching even if they never meant to before. Despite the fact that the market report has a wealth of facts and statistics, I continue to hear buyers declare the market is about to crash. And when I ask them to clarify, they just respond, "It's just going to crash because the price is just too high." What is the logical reason for this, apart from the fact that you fear it will collapse? After then, I frequently do not receive an answer and long pause, and they just repeat saying it will just crash. Let's have a more in-depth discussion regarding the market, and I want to share some of the data that was recently released for December of last year and compare it to our new year and moving forward. Shall we? Welcome back to AV Team Real Estate. I'm Antonio, the local real estate agent in the GTA Toronto area. As always, if at any point you have a question regarding the Toronto market, feel free to drop a comment down below or click on the link below to book a call with me. I'll be happy to hear from you or have a conversation with you about whatever you like. It will not cost you anything. Oh, and before I forget, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you like our content so far. Now back to the original topic and exploring why people think the real estate market could crash someday due to high priced houses and thinking the crash could be really nearing soon. Let's first explore the last 2 months of market data and see if that makes sense. One interesting thing I found when comparing November last year for the average price in all type homes in Toronto. You could notice the November average price was $1,163,323, and in newly released December average price is sitting at $1,157,849. So immediately you could feel that the market could potentially cool off from previous month. However, don't forget that the $1,163,000 was historically high for Toronto real estate market. Coming slightly down, it is still relatively high at 1.1 million. Is that the trend you think the market is going to burst? Since December is the holiday season, the market will quiet down, so it is very normal to see it has a little dip compared to November. To make a fair comparison, we will look at the same month in December of last year, 2020, and it is up 24%, and in November, year over year, was up 21.7%. So we could now see the year end was ended with an incredible average sold price. But what drives the price so high? We learned during the pandemic some key factors that we discussed during the past include the inflation, the amount of money government assistance to those that affected that could also relate to money printing, the labor and material costs off the roof due to lack of production and restrictions, etc. However, one big reason is the serious lack of houses and inventory in the Toronto market. And don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the December active listing. Active listing are the houses that are currently in the market for sale. It is now at 3,232 in the month of December compared to 7,892 last year in the same month. It is a significant drop of 59%. This is a huge deal. We never see that before. To elaborate further, let's talk about a common way to determine whether it's a seller's market, a balanced market, or a buyer's market. First, we take the active listing at 3,232 and divide it with the total number of sales, which is 6,032 in December. And that will give us this number of 0.53. And this means if no listing are added to the market, it only takes us half a month to exhaust or deplete all the available inventory. Basically, if the result is below 5, which is now currently is sitting at 0.53, not even 1, it is often referred to as seller's market. Let's take a look at here more in depth for the active listings. Starting here for the left side, year 2020, you can see that from January, we started off the year with 7,000 plus in terms of inventory or active listings. gradually moving up to February bit by bit to 10,000 to 11,000 in May, up to 14,000, and we actually reached the peak of 18,000 listings. And of course, you start coming down here because of the holiday season, especially reaching to the December, which is the holidays. We usually have least amount of listings, so we went down to 7,000 here in year 2020. So now let's look at the year 2021. Started off similar year in 2020 with 7,396 listing, gradually went similar like 2020. I'm working up here 8,000 to 10,000 in March, which is very similar, and we even had higher in April comparing to last year, and 12,000. And from here May, you will see starting off the declining. We have less inventory in June, and now 8,000 is almost reaching the half for him. And moving down, you just keep on declining, and here we have a record low of 3,000 house for listing here. And comparing to year 2020, this is actually one of the all-time low in terms of house listing. And moving here to the right side to the average sold price, this table here in the year 2020 we started off with 8,000, and gradually, of course, is moving up the price. We never went north of 1 million. However, in year 2021, started off with 967, and just in February, we broke the 1 million mark. Ever since, it's just keep on rising, especially if you compare it when we had the lowest inventory starting declining since May. The price is jumping more and more. Here, we all know that in December, it was up 24%. This is the trend. More likely, when we have less inventory, the price will simply drive up because of less inventory and more buyers, and they are more competitive, competing with limited supplies. Now let us look at the chart. The top here is from the year 2020, the active listings and the average sold price on the top. So in the year 2020, we actually noticed from the table that we only reached up to like the peak was 18,000. And of course, this is seasonal. Reaching down here in December, we usually have less. If we compare to year 2021, we started very similar, but start declining since May that we noticed, just going downward here, and this is at least going upward and went down as a normal year. But this is just keep on declining, and we had the lowest here in 3,000 listing. And of course, if we look compared to the pricing in the year 2020, of course, we never broke the 1 million mark. Year 2021, we actually started off with close to almost 1 million, and ever since we just keep on breaking the record up to here less than 1.2 million. So here's the issue. Inventory is at all-time low that has never been witnessed before. In December, there were 3,232 active listings, down 59% year over year, and by no means will inventory rise overnight. As a supply and demand trend, it is easy to see if the supply is low, we could quickly see the prices just keep going higher and higher. The buyers will be competing much more over the limited supplies in the market and driving the prices even higher. Hence, that is the demand. Let's take a look at TREP's overall sales throughout the history. From 1976 until the present, we have had the greatest sales in a single year in history. With 121,000, we're up 7.7% from the peak of 113,040 sales in 2016. This relationship between highest number of sales and historic low in inventory would be a perfect recipe to ignite the price increase moving forward. At the end of 2021, the average selling price will have reached an all-time high of 1.09 million. That is a 17.8% increase above the 2020 high. These are all the resale market documented data, excluding the pre-construction numbers. I used to be one of those people who believed the housing bubble will burst if prices continue to rise at the current rate. It is just unbelievable. However, as I study more into the last several years' relationship, it's becoming increasingly impossible to imagine that the price may come down. I can't think of any rational reason to believe that. Also, as I mentioned in the earlier videos, Ontario is still on track on record-breaking for accepting immigration to Ontario. It is a whopping 401,000 in 2021. Just in perspective, we were averaging in 100,000 or 200,000 per year in the last few years. This is at least 3 to 4 times more of people are coming to Ontario, and they simply need homes either for rent or purchase. And the reality, the investor will keep on investing. Simply put, the government relies on investors to keep our economy afloat. Yes, prices fluctuate and go up and down, But as you can see from this chart, the price has been steadily increasing since 1976. So I'll leave it up to you to decide whether the trend is heading up or down. I hope this clarifies my thinking and plans for the coming year. If you find this content valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, or simply schedule a call with us using the link in the description down below. I'm also curious to hear some other points that I may or may not miss out, or if you don't agree, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.